And another thing that people don't want to admit or don't want to say, and this is one of these things where I said it a year ago. This is how Carl Smesko has always played Caitlin Clark. And it did not work in the second half. The fouls were being called in the second half. And it's what, if you look at the Indiana Fever, most of the time, there is a player who consistently plays badly for the Atlanta Dream. And again, Caitlin Clark in her career is 7-1 against the Dream. It's not like this is one of those things where Caitlin has struggled against the Dream at all. She's 7-1. She is 7-1. But there's one big thing when it comes to Caitlin Clark against this team, is that Carl Smesko, as a coach, sacrifices his best player. Ryan Howard made 0 field goals when Caitlin Clark was on the floor. Caitlin Clark guarded Ryan Howard for large chunks of that game. Even though it was at a stage where, even though Caitlin Clark did not shoot the best, Caitlin Clark still shot a lot better than Ryan. She still was a lot more impactful than Ryan, who did nothing. Who, other than hitting 2 threes when Caitlin was off the floor, who did nothing. And if you're watching anything with the Indiana Fever or with the Atlanta Dream versus the Indiana Fever, that is what they've done every single time. And Caitlin's shooting numbers have always been iffy against the Dream. But there's been games where she's taken over. Like if you look even back to her rookie year, Caitlin Clark 4-0 against the Dream. I'm going to show you her shooting numbers, her shooting splits, because Tanisha Wright did the same thing, by the way. Tanisha Wright did a very similar thing. And we saw it with Tyler Marsh with what's his name, Ariel Atkins. Like, you cannot stop Caitlin by just saying we have a defender for her. You've got to be better tactically. Because if you look, again, even last year, we all remember the second half where everyone says Caitlin Clark took over that game. Everyone says Caitlin Clark took over this game here. Do you remember this game? Caitlin Clark had 12 points and 9 assists. We all talk about this game where the Fever dropped 60 points in the second half. They were down big and dropped 60 points in the second half. As you can see here. Or say they were down. Suddenly they killed them. Caitlin Clark had 12 points, 9 assists. Caitlin Clark has never had good stats against this team because their whole goal is to stop Caitlin, and it doesn't work. This game was overtime where, in fairness, she took over in overtime. 7 of 17 from the field. The other Atlanta games they won. 7 points. 7 points, 6 assists, 7 turnovers. What happened in this game? Caitlin Clark assisted to Aaliyah Boston 3 times in a row to end this game on a win. Where are the other Atlanta games? 19 points on 6 of 14 shooting. There's a fourth one here somewhere. 16, 4, and 7 on 6 of 12 shooting. In a game where she was 5, 4, and 4 in the first quarter. But Caitlin Clark has the Atlanta Dream's number. Ironically, the one game she's ever lost to Atlanta, she had 27, 5, and 11. This is a team that goes out of their way. This team goes out of their way to stop Caitlin Clark. To the extent genuinely, to the extent that it's been to the detriment of their team. Caitlin Clark has never had a good box score against them. But Caitlin Clark dominated this game. I'm not saying she was as good as Kelsey Mitchell. Far from that. Far from that. But what I am saying is, Caitlin Clark absolutely was clearly the second best player on the floor. The only player that was better than her was Kelsey, who had an insane magnet ball. And like, I'm sorry, like, it's hard to replicate magnet ball. What Caitlin did today is replicable. And that's why this time last year, when they took over in that second half, everyone was like, okay, yes, they're back again. Then they went out against Dallas and did the same. This is replicable. What Caitlin Clark did today is replicable. And not only that, she's going to make more shots next time. She's going to make more shots. And the Indiana Fever are suddenly now a team that are like, that if they play like this, they can beat anybody. If they put in effort on defense, if they run. Raven Johnson being big. Maisha Hines-Allen, a monster. Hopefully Mo Billings remembers that she's a basketball player. Because she's been bad. But hopefully. But it's so clear that Atlanta almost over game planned for this. They almost over indexed Caitlin Clark's impact. Because it didn't work. And I've said this tons of times when Fever played the Dream. It's like the way the Fever have played against the Dream, like, doesn't like the way Dream play against Fever doesn't work because they worry so much about stopping Caitlin, but you can't, and they just foul her. They foul her. That's all they do. They try to foul her. And you're seeing it when she's on the floor, how much better their offense is. Like Kelsey Mitchell, when she was off the floor, they made shots. And they did really well. But I'm being honest, Kelsey Mitchell just, fucking hell. It was one of those games where you're just like, for Kelsey, like, she just made bullshit. She put up so much bullshit and it went in. Like, that's what you don't want to see in general as like, making bullshit's not replicable. And I feel like a lot of Kelsey's cutting, her running, is replicable. The taking 18 dribbles and shooting mad shit is not replicable. But they still fucking won this game because of Kelsey. They still absolutely won this game because of Kelsey. I still believe the Fever needs to put like a dribble limit on Kelsey Mitchell. That she's 100 times more effective off like no dribbles. She was running around in circles in the first half. But unbelievable performance from her. But you could see the Atlanta Dream were willing to let Kelsey Mitchell do what Kelsey Mitchell does. Because in fairness, on a defensive scheme, your goal is to, especially if you're Carl Smesco who plays the percentages, your goal is literally to try to make things as low percentage as possible. And a Kelsey Mitchell ISO is probably as low percentage as you're going to get. That being said, no, I am very, very impressed by how Caitlin Clark adapted to being hacked. Like, again, you look at this stat line here, but if Caitlin Clark gets to the free throw line the amount she should have, that stat line might have said 26 points. Like, she should have lived at the line today. She shot 4 free throws all in the fourth quarter. All in the fourth. And the Atlanta Dream, they threw Jordan Canada on her. They sacrificed Ryan. They sacrificed Reinhardt. Every time Alicia Gray was on her, she just fouled her. And Caitlin still played bully ball on Ryan. Like, Caitlin was out there bullying Ryan. She was cooking Jordan Canada. She was missing open. She missed one really bad layup, which was a concern, but she was missing open. Like, it is what it is. But, yeah, it is an absolutely fantastic game from Caitlin and a horribly executed coaching game plan.